Aung San Suu Kyi is a name synonymous with the struggle for democracy in Myanmar. Born in 1945, she is the daughter of Aung San, Myanmar's independence hero. Educated abroad, Suu Kyi returned to her homeland in 1988 to care for her ailing mother. She arrived to find a nation on the brink of change. A pro-democracy movement was rising against the oppressive military junta. Suu Kyi, inspired by the non-violent philosophies of Mahatma Gandhi and her father, quickly became a leading voice for democracy. She co-founded the National League for Democracy, or NLD, and led peaceful demonstrations against the regime. Her powerful speeches, echoing her father's calls for freedom, resonated deeply with the Burmese people. They saw in her a symbol of hope, a courageous leader willing to stand up against tyranny. The military junta responded swiftly and brutally, cracking down on the protests with violence. In 1989, Suu Kyi was placed under house arrest. Despite years of confinement and separation from her family, she remained unyielding in her commitment to democracy. Her resilience and unwavering spirit made her an international icon, a beacon of hope in the face of oppression. In 1991, while still under house arrest, she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, a testament to her extraordinary courage and her unwavering commitment to peaceful resistance. Suu Kyi's house arrest would continue, on and off, for the better part of 2 decades. The military junta, fearful of her popularity and influence, sought to silence her voice. Yet her spirit remained unbroken. From her home on the shores of Inya Lake, she continued to inspire her followers, her words defying the physical barriers erected by her captors. The world watched in admiration as she endured years of confinement, her spirit unbroken, her resolve unwavering. After years of struggle, a glimmer of hope emerged in 2010. Suu Kyi was released from house arrest, and the military junta initiated a series of political reforms. These reforms culminated in the 2015 general election, in which the NLD won a landslide victory. Finally, it seemed, democracy had come to Myanmar. However, the military's grip on power remained strong, woven into the very fabric of the nation's governance through the 2008 Constitution. This constitution, drafted by the military, contained clauses that severely limited the power of the civilian government. One such clause barred Suu Kyi from becoming president due to her foreign-born sons. Another granted the military control over key ministries including defense, home affairs, and border affairs. These constitutional constraints placed Suu Kyi in a precarious position. She assumed the newly created role of state counselor, a position akin to prime minister, becoming the de facto leader of the country. Yet, her power was severely circumscribed by the military's constitutional prerogatives. The military still held 1/4 of the seats in parliament, giving them effective veto power over any constitutional amendments. The 2008 Constitution effectively created a power-sharing arrangement between the civilian government and the military. While Suu Kyi and the NLD were able to implement some reforms, their ability to bring about fundamental change was hampered by the military's entrenched interests and constitutional safeguards. This delicate balance of power, fraught with tension and mistrust, would ultimately prove unsustainable. The Rohingya crisis, which erupted in 2017, became a defining challenge for Suu Kyi's leadership and a source of immense international controversy. The Rohingya, a Muslim minority group in Myanmar's Rakhine state, have long faced persecution and discrimination. The military launched a brutal crackdown on the Rohingya, driving hundreds of thousands to flee to neighboring Bangladesh. Suu Kyi's muted response to the crisis, her refusal to condemn the military's actions, drew widespread international condemnation. Many saw her silence as a betrayal of the very principles of human rights and democracy that she had long championed. Her international reputation, once a symbol of hope and resistance, was tarnished. However, the complexities of the situation were often overlooked. The military still held significant power, and a direct confrontation could have jeopardized the fragile democratic transition. Moreover, the Rohingya issue was deeply intertwined with issues of nationalism and identity in Myanmar, making it a highly sensitive and explosive topic. Suu Kyi's approach to the Rohingya crisis remains a subject of intense debate. Some argue that her pragmatic approach, prioritizing stability over confrontation, was the only viable option in the face of the military's continued dominance. Others contend that her silence amounted to complicity in the military's atrocities, tarnishing her legacy as a human rights icon. The fragile power-sharing arrangement between the civilian government and the military came to an abrupt end on February 1, 2021. The military, alleging voter fraud in the 2020 election which the NLD won by a large margin, staged a coup, detaining Suu Kyi and other senior government officials. The coup triggered widespread protests, met with a brutal crackdown by the junta. Suu Kyi was once again placed under house arrest, facing a litany of charges widely seen as politically motivated. The international community condemned the coup, imposing sanctions on the military regime. The coup marked a devastating setback for democracy in Myanmar, extinguishing the hard-won progress made during the brief period of civilian rule. In a surprising turn of events, an Argentine court issued international arrest warrants in February 2025 for 25 Myanmar officials, including Aung San Suu Kyi. The warrants were issued under the principle of universal jurisdiction, which allows for the prosecution of individuals for crimes against humanity, regardless of where the crimes were committed. The arrest warrants, while largely symbolic, highlight the complexities surrounding Suu Kyi's legacy. Her supporters argue that the warrants are misdirected, failing to recognize the constitutional constraints she faced and the military's ultimate responsibility for the Rohingya crisis. They call for a nuanced understanding of Myanmar's political landscape, one that acknowledges the military's dominant role and the challenges Suu Kyi faced in navigating this complex and treacherous terrain. Aung San Suu Kyi's story is one of extraordinary courage, resilience, and unwavering commitment to democracy. Her legacy, however, remains complex and contested, forever intertwined with the tumultuous political landscape of her homeland. As Myanmar remains in the grip of military rule, the future of this courageous woman, once a symbol of hope for a nation yearning for freedom, hangs in the balance.